Good evening. We are Chris Lee and Graham Doty of Southeastern 16 here for College World Series Finals. Game 1 reaction. LSU and Coastal Carolina as we are starting. The Chanticleers have a man on first against Kade Anderson, who is about to throw pitch 130 against Coastal Carolina. And I believe that's going to be his last. Yep, fly ball to right. Jake Brown under it. Ball game. This one in the books for LSU, Graham. What a spectacular performance by Kade Anderson, who just threw the first complete game shutout in the Men's College World Series Finals since 2018. Had a bunch of pitches working for him tonight. Fastball was still going 93 to 95 late in the game. Had the changeup, had the breaking ball. My goodness. Look, if you are a draft, if you're an MLB executive, I can't tell you who to take with your first pick, right? You know, the whole pitchers thing, the durability, all the stuff that goes on in baseball, right? But I am telling you, if you don't take Kade Anderson, if your mind is on pitcher, if he's not the first guy off the board, that would be hard for me to justify anything but Kade Anderson if it's a pitcher.
Yeah, I just saw it in the chat. Chet just said it. I agree with it. So I didn't think he was all that sharp for what he normally is to start the game. But what makes him special and what makes him potentially round one, pick one, even when he doesn't have his best or when he's not at his best, Chris, he figures it out.
Yep.
And it seemed like he got better and better as the game went on. Like pitch number 129 was 96 miles an hour. So velocity wasn't an issue. I mean, he's just a different breed, and that's why there's a very good opportunity and chance for him that he's about to be 1-1 coming up here in less than a month.
Look, I think they said of the first 9 hitters, he threw a first pitch strike to one of them, if I heard it correctly. So you're right about that. They just don't make them like Kade Anderson anymore. I mean, to be able to go that deep in the game, keep in mind it's 90-something degrees there. Now, the wind's blowing in, and that is a big advantage to the pitcher. But you're right, he didn't have his best control to start the game. Walked 5. 4 of those came pretty early, and it didn't matter. He went late into the game with the pressure, with everything on the line. That's what greatness is made of, what we just saw of Kade Anderson. There are not many guys like him anymore. You don't even see these guys at the major league level for the most part.
Yeah. To go 130 pitches, it's the second time he's done that this season. Again, velocity, not an issue at all. Wes Made, who's with us all the time, we appreciate you as always, Wes. He says he probably made $5 million more this week. He probably did. Like that's a very realistic number that he could add to his bank account here again within the next 2 to 3 weeks, whenever the draft is.
Let me look at the slot values. $5 million seems a little steep. One overall nationals just over $11 million. I mean, well, he might be right. I mean, if Anderson was, I don't know that anybody had Anderson towards the lower end of the top 10, but the difference in slot value from 10 to 1 is about that much. So,
yeah. Caleb with an interesting question. Cade didn't compare to Skeens in that Wake Forest game. He's asking our thoughts on that.
I mean, they're different.
They're very different. Skeens is that's like once in a lifetime type of talent there. I mean, how many guys get drafted in 1-1 and then they start the Major League All-Star game less than a year later? Like that,
not
that may never, like I'm a big believer in never say never, but the odds of that ever happening again are incredibly low.
Yeah. You know what? I just watched some of these guys, and him in particular. Like, what is he lacking to pitch in a major league game next week? You tell me.
Not much. Like mentally, I think he's there already.
Yes, I do too. I mean, the only thing is you might monitor the workload. And I don't know, has he had Tommy John before? I don't think that he has.
If he
That's one of those
has,
things it's almost advantageous at this
yeah.
stage because everybody seems to have it.
If
But
he has, it's before his LSU days.
right.
Caleb says yes in high school, so there you
Okay.
go.
There you go. I mean, and last year I think again he threw 20-something innings. This year I think he was over 100 coming in. And at whatever after tonight. But I mean that was amazing.
Yeah, he was incredible. We got asked what we think of Coastal. I mean, Coastal is really, really good. I mean,
Yeah.
newsflash, like we knew that this would be a pitcher's duel. It was. I thought both pitchers were incredible. LSU just made a handful of more plays than Coastal did tonight. I also think I'm pretty sure it was in the 5th inning when Milm was at first base and the pickoff moved to first,
Yeah.
hit the umpire. So
Yeah.
if
That was a
that
run.
ball doesn't hit the umpire, LSU gets another run out of that because I think was it Bear, the next hitter, he hit one in the gap and that would have driven in Milum easily. But Milum had to stay put at first and he went from first to third on that base hit.
Yeah.
Do you remember that sequence? I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I
sure it
do.
was in the 5th.
I mean, yeah, I mean it's a runner. It's a runner at second that scores on the next base hit, and maybe it probably a runner on third. So, yeah, it wasn't Jared Jones, but anyway, people ask what we think.
It was
Look,
Hernandez.
Hernandez. Okay, LSU. I mean, Coastal just had LSU to 1 run. I mean, that's pretty good. Problem is you ran into Kade Anderson. And by the way, you know what I like about him too? All the theatrics, the hopping off the mound, the pointing at dugouts, all the stuff that goes on. Kade Anderson just gets people out and goes about his business. Yeah. I really love the way that he pitches. I'm not old school to the point of you take all the fun out of it, but I'm old school to the point of respect the game, respect your opponent, and respect yourself. And that's another reason that I'm just so high on him.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's kind of refreshing nowadays when you see that. Some of the Arkansas guys are like that, like Gackle is. Gackle's pretty stoic. Wood's pretty stoic. Just go about their business. And yeah, Anderson is 1,000,000% like that. And when he's on like he is tonight, it just makes him so special and so much fun to watch for sure.
Yeah. I guess the offensive star tonight, again, Stephen Milum, who's just been so clutch in the entire NCAA tournament. Another guy that the more I watch, the more I love him.
Milum, oh yeah. He's definitely clutch. I mean, I said it a couple of weeks ago, like that guy could be on my team all day, any day. He always gets on base. He plays hard. That's what I appreciate about him the most. Like he's going to give you 100% offensively, defensively, no matter what. And he just gets every single ounce out of his ability.
Yeah. I mean, he's a major leaguer. I don't know if he's a shortstop. I don't know if the arm is there. And you look at him, you just go, he's a 5'7" shortstop. That's not going to, I mean, this day and age where shortstops are huge, but he's a ball player, man. I don't know if he fits at short, but he fits somewhere, probably second.
I'd be surprised if he's a short at the next level. To me, like, do you get Jose Altuve vibes from him? I mean, I could see him being a second baseman.
Yeah, I mean that works for me. And I mean, look, he can play that. You know, if you get somebody hurt, that's another feather in his cap in my mind, that he could probably play a couple different spots. But that kid's just a gamer.
Yeah, he is. And a big reason why LSU is now 1 win away from winning their second national championship in 3 years.
Yes. Watching the replay, but
yeah. Did you see they had the tight shot of the Coastal dugout after the game? A lot of sad looks. All those players' faces. Remember, this is their first loss since April 22nd. So they haven't felt like this in a long time.
And you had mentioned that going in, like, do you get over the shock of you haven't lost one and felt like that in a long time? And that's the problem when you're facing Kade Anderson in a game one. He's just been unbeatable for some time now.
I don't.
And by the way, Eric, go ahead. Let me finish your thought because I want to get to what Eric said.
Yeah, well, we definitely need to dive into that. But I was just going to say, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. So let's go to this, because this we need to touch on this as well.
Yeah, they were just showing some of the highlights, and they showed Brazwell going to his left to field the grounder and make the throw to first. He's had a rough year. His career kind of been in a 3-year stall in terms of production, but LSU's got so many bats, and left side of the infield, like, third basemen are so much more valuable who can defend in college than they are at the major league level, because everybody's got a left side of the infield guy in major league. Like, if your third baseman can't make plays, you'll find somebody. You'll convert a shortstop in the minors. You'll do something. Not everybody does at this level. And Brazwell's a former shortstop, true freshman, started at South Carolina for a really good team. And they have been able to carry his bat because of that kind of play that he made at the end.
What I like and what I thought was really cool, LSU baseball fans are incredible. So there was a movement earlier this week on social media. His first plate appearance tonight, all the LSU fans are saying they wanted to stand up and like applaud and cheer him, just to say like, hey, we're here for you. Like, we got your back no matter what. He got asked about it earlier this week and said how much he really appreciates the LSU fans and their support. And sure enough, Chris, his first plate appearance, all the LSU fans, maybe not all, but I would say the overwhelming majority of them stood up and gave him a standing ovation. Just like, hey, like, we're behind you. I thought that was incredible. That is a small list of fan bases that would do that.
Yeah. They know the game about as well as anybody. And I feel like they don't turn on their own. Which I guess in college you don't see that much.
But it happens. It happens every once in a while.
It happened at Arizona State to Luke Hill. Yeah.
Yeah, it did. His head coach called him out by name to the media and everything when he left. But yeah, that he's so fantastic defensively at third. But maybe he gets a base hit tomorrow, but it's been a struggle for him at the plate. But I was just happy that that's a moment that he's going to remember, for the rest of his days, that support. I just thought that was awesome. By the way, the point that I forgot earlier that I remember now, Chris, I think going into this game, if you told Coastal Carolina that they were only going to give up 1 run, I'm pretty sure they would take that in a heartbeat and feel really good about their chances. And then they end up dropping this game. So that's just got to be a backbreaker for them.
Hey, Wes, see your note you're dropping out. Thanks for being here as always. A lot of stuff going on in the world tonight. We won't get into that, but
yes, there is.
Yeah. Yeah, usually in a 1-0 game, there's a little bit less to talk about. But if you're just joining us and people are coming in here quickly, we led with what anybody would lead with. Kade Anderson was phenomenal tonight. Didn't have his stuff out of the jump, which is a tough spot to be in. I mean, you saw. Let's remember how this tournament started. With Zach Root just didn't have it. And Dave Van Hoord pulled the plug on him quickly. And that's the kind of spot that when you've got so much going on the line and other talented guys, a coach will sometimes make that move in this spot. Not that he was probably going to do that with Kade Anderson, but you get the point I'm making.
Yeah.
Just the whole thing from start to finish. The fact that it was not the sharpest version of Kade Anderson. By the way, I thought tonight you had a major league strike zone. Like there were not a lot of calls given. I feel like early in the tournament, a couple inches off the plate and a couple inches below the knees was in play for most of the home play umpires. I didn't feel that was the case so much tonight. Kade Anderson pitched through that. He pitched through 90-something degrees. He pitched through the pressure. He pitched through having no run support. Pitched through all the eyes of baseball are on you as the draft is coming. I mean, Graham, I don't think, unless LSU was 0-1 coming into today, and that was his turn, I don't think it's possible to pitch. I mean, the only thing that was really going his way was a strong wind blowing in. That helped. But everything else, man, there were all kinds of reasons for Kade Anderson not to have the start he did, and he had it anyway.
Yeah. By the way, you touch on the weather. Only in Omaha can it be 99 degrees with the wind blowing at 40 miles an hour.
Yep. Yeah.
If you didn't see, Chris sent it to me earlier, but Mike Monaco, I don't know if he's going to do I don't know if he's doing the game tomorrow. I guess he is since it's Sunday and Ravitch is going to do Major League Baseball stuff, but he had that tweet out that just talked about the weather in Omaha, just 99, like a heat advisory with wind at 40 miles an hour, just a unique combination.
Yeah.
And by the way, like I see people talking about it in the chat. How much of the press conferences did you see this week, Chris, for either team?
I'm not a big press conference watcher. So I didn't see much, but I did see the clip about where Coastal was asked, what do they like about LSU? And there was silence and there was snickering and, not much honestly. Like, what? I don't get it.
So first of all, like, number one, I thought that was a weird question to ask. Like, why ask that? Like, what do you think they're just going to shower LSU with praise and love? So I thought it was a weird question, but just to me, that was a difference between the two teams and just how much they have had to deal with media. I mean, you get at LSU, you're going to be around media. You're going to get asked questions. So LSU is just used to it. I don't know what it is like for Coastal Carolina, but like for them to handle that the way they did, I definitely thought it was interesting. Now, I don't think it's the reason why LSU won. I don't think Jay Johnson was in the clubhouse like, all right, boys, like, look at what they said. Because if you need something to fire you up at this point in stage, like, what are we doing? We're playing for the national championship. But I just thought it was weird. And then on the LSU side, like Anderson said he had no idea where Coastal Carolina was.
That's not the answer,
He said he didn't know if it was in North Carolina, South Carolina. He had no idea. So I know Coastal Carolina fans kind of ran away with that.
I mean, I think the disrespect thing is getting a little bit old. Like, if you know baseball, you respect those guys. You heard us talking when we did our selection show, and Coastal was announced as a 13. I was like, that's ridiculous. Coastal should have been a top 8. Should have been hosting 2 weekends. If you're paying attention, you know that. If you're paying attention, they won 26 in a row. They went to Auburn, took a couple games there. Got out of that. I mean, I don't know. I'm not living their life, but I just think some of it is getting a little. Just the clips I've seen. I'm like, just get over it and let's play ball.
I agree with you there, especially this game. This game is so hard. Like, things are not going to go your way in baseball and in life. So, I mean, you got to be able to respect the game, respect your opponent, do all that. So I just thought it was weird all the way around. I thought it was a weird question to ask in that setting, and I thought the way Coastal handled it could have been way better.
Well, I think the way you handled it is the way Murray State's coach handled it. Just, okay, we're here to play ball, we're here to win. But, like, they didn't get snarky. They didn't get a chip on their shoulder about stuff. I don't know. I didn't find that necessary because I think you're at a stage like, unless you're an LSU fan, you got to figure the casual guy might be rooting for Coastal because of all the obvious. It's little guy against the big guy, right?
Right.
And I just don't think that endeared I don't know. That at face value didn't endear a lot of people, I wouldn't think.
Yeah. By the way, article came out in Jay's Time Free Press in Chattanooga about Coastal Carolina and their baseball NIL. Safe to say they're not Cinderella. They're not the
Yeah.
little engine that could. If you read that article, they are about to go all in college baseball, boys and
Well,
girls.
as well they should. And baseball needs Coastal Carolinas. It needs
Correct.
somebody outside the power structure. This doesn't need to be a game where, it's like, we're going to get 6 or 7 teams from the SEC in Omaha, which I thought might happen coming into this year. And so I'm glad they had success. I think it's been a great story. I think they're fun to watch. I just didn't like the way they approached the week all the time.
They are fun to watch. And I mean, they're going to be a factor big time moving forward the rest of the way here.
Yeah.
There were so many great press conference moments by both teams. I got a kick out of one of them. Like, I think it was Luke Brown. Did you see what happened with him and everything?
Mm-mm.
He it was a day or two ago, but he flat out said, he was like, "Look, I'm going to be honest." He was like, "We came to LSU. We're not scholars. We're ball players."
Jake Brown. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, I thought, I was like, "Hey, at least my man's honest." And then the next day he came out and was like, "By the way, my GPA is 3.7." I was like, "All right, fair enough."
Well, I mean, even the D3 guys, they're there to play baseball. I mean, some of them take school more seriously than others, but there's not a player in the SEC, even at Vanderbilt, that's there, for the education first. They're there to play ball.
Yeah, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
But I mean, I thought this game tonight was great. This is exactly kind of what I think we were both anticipating. Pitchers duel, low scoring.
Yeah.
Defense matters. Again, Coastal's got the best defense in the Sun Belt. This is LSU's best defense, fielding percentage wise, in a decade. So, I mean, just it kind of checked a lot of the boxes of what we all envisioned, and it happened.
Yeah. I think we felt, what was the over and under on this game?
I don't know. I didn't even look. I'm sure it wasn't high.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jay said, I was like, that's ridiculous. I'd take the under in a heartbeat.
Let me see if I can find it.
By the way, 2 extra base hits tonight, 1 for each team. 9 total hits in the game.
It was 8.5 was the over under. Goodness gracious.
Who set that?
That's on my phone according to the ESPN app. So that's ESPN Bet.
Yeah. I don't bet, but if I did, that would be a place to start.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Big number.
We got some questions about pitching before we go there, because I do have some thoughts on tomorrow and what it could look like, and how, and again, another thing Kade Anderson did was keep all your other guys available. Just want to remind you, support our sponsor, GameTime Sidekicks. This right here is the 40-ounce tumbler I've been drinking out of all day. I filled this thing up this morning, put ice in it, went outside, mowed the yard in 90-degree heat, was out there for a couple hours doing that and some other yard work. Again, I think I filled this up at 7 or 8 this morning with ice and water. I don't know if you can hear that. I've still got ice from this morning that's in that cup. This thing is amazing. I've been drinking cold water from it all day, doing work. It is officially licensed stainless steel drinkware. It has every SEC school, over 350 more universities. Top of the market quality in terms of construction and ice retention. Double wall, vacuum insulated, stainless steel, all logo printing and product decoration done in Knoxville. Tons of designs and logos for each school. They even offer a college vault line. Everything you see, including these, they got stainless steel, sippy cups, tumblers, 40-ounce bottles, and shaker cups. I've got several of them. The quality of these things is amazing. The paint, the graphics are incredible. It'll be the nicest tumbler you ever get, and it's very reasonably priced, and you can get 10% off. Promo code SE16 gets you 10% off your entire order. GameTimeSidekicks.com is where you go for that.
Yeah, you used the big one today. I got one of my big ones today too. I
Yep.
got six different sizes and versions of them. They can't recommend them enough.
And whoever wins this thing is going to have their own commemorative one very soon.
So you want to dive into the potential pitching matchups? I think we kind of have an idea of who each team's starters will be.
Yeah, by the way, super chats are always appreciated. We'll take questions anyway, but that'll help you get noticed. It supports the channel, and also we posted the link to the membership tier at the top. We've not done a members-only video in a couple weeks, but we will do those soon. Let's see. What do I think about Ianson tomorrow? I mean, he's been so consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Was not good in the super regional from what I remember, but I don't think anybody was good in that event because it was so blasted hot. Saying maybe the hottest it's ever been for LSU baseball. And plus West Virginia's pretty good. I'm trying to remember last start, I feel like he was a little bit wild, maybe. But I mean, Ianson has just been so good for them. He's a strike thrower. He's got different pitches. The breaking ball has been phenomenal for him. Really tough to see first time through. We'll be interested to see if he leans on that tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely think it's going to be Ianson and then probably Morrison for Coastal Carolina. I'd be stunned if it's not him. But touching on Ianson first. So against UCLA, 3 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs. West Virginia, 5 innings, 4 runs. So last 2 innings, or the last 2 starts, I should say, not his what we're used to seeing from him. Prior to that, he'd only given up 2 runs his previous 6 outings. So again, when Ianson is on, he is electric. He is fantastic. He should be well rested and ready to go. And then Morrison was one of the best pitchers in the Sun Belt Conference. So I believe he's undefeated, if I remember correctly. So it should be another outstanding pitching matchup for game 2.
Yeah, Morrison's got a 208 earned run average in 104 innings. Last 2 starts, a combined 13 2/3 innings, 2 runs, period. Has given up over 3 runs in a start just twice this year. One of those was East Carolina in the regional. The other one was Georgia State all the way back on April the 11th. Since, let's see, I guess the East Carolina appearance early in the year was relief. He has gone, I think, at least 5 innings in all but one of his starts dating back to mid-March. And the one he didn't, he went 4 2/3. So durable, unbelievably consistent. I mean, what else would you expect? It's East Carolina pitching.
Yeah. Or Coastal Carolina pitching.
Excuse me. Good grief. I had East in my mind because they just played East Carolina. My apologies. No offense intended.
Same colors, though, as LSU. It's easy.
Yeah. Right.
Wes with an interesting question. First of all, thanks for being back in the chat, Wes. What you're watching, I got it on right next to me as well because I wanted to see what was going to be said tonight as well. But Wes says if Coastal can get it to a game 3, does the advantage swing back to them because of Eichel for Coastal Carolina? Interesting question.
It depends. I think the nightmare scenario for LSU would be you get locked into a close game. Say Ianson goes 5, you bring in Case and Evans. Let's say you're up 1-0. and Einson's running out of gas. You bring in Case and Evans to finish it off, and he gives up a couple. And he throws 70, 80 pitches to where he probably can't come back tomorrow. Now, I think you don't panic for sure because of what Cowan gave you last time out and because of what Shores has been giving you. And you got Jaden Newton, you got some other guys. But I think that's the scenario where it gets a little dicey for them. Dicier.
Yeah. Again, that's a lot of ifs in that situation and scenario. But let's say that does happen. To me, what makes LSU just different from so many other teams, like the two names that you said for LSU in that situation, Cowan and Shores, those were two really good options and arms to have if it goes a third game.
Well, and I feel like we keep inventing these scenarios for LSU that are the kind of worst case. And we've been doing them for a couple of weeks. And it's not because we don't believe in LSU. It's because when you're that good, you look for ways it could go wrong because you know all the ways it could go right because look at their season. But I feel like they keep figuring a way out. And again, I think Jay Johnson is as good as anybody in the game at developing pitching and having it peaking and in the right shape at this time of the year. I mean, what's interesting? They've been using Jacob Mayers a lot. He was up tonight. He and Shores were both up in the bullpen. And I was wondering, I'm pretty sure they're not taking Anderson out. And when they showed him in the dugout with nobody around him and that industrial fan blowing on him, that was your answer.
That he's going back out. Yeah.
Yeah, but Mayers is another guy that they seem to be getting a little bit more trust in as we get down the stretch here.
Yeah. And Shores. You just touched on Shores. Shores, I know he obviously didn't pitch tonight, but he got hot, so he got ready. Got to wonder if he's going to be available tomorrow. But again, I think if you're LSU, the game plan has got to be like Ianson at least 6 innings, and then you turn it over to Evans. I guess kind of depending on the situation. But again, I think this loss tonight, it's got to be just backbreaking for Coastal Carolina. You give up 1 run and you lose. And then your reward is you get to face, Ianson and Evans and whoever else LSU is going to trot out there for game 2. So, and again, first time Coastal's lost since April 22nd. So this is unfamiliar territory for Coastal Carolina in a situation like this.
What is your parameter for how you use Evans tomorrow?
Of how I would use Evans? I definitely think if LSU has the lead and if it looks like Ianson is getting tired, I would definitely, turn it over to him. I mean, it's for the national championship. If you got the lead or if it's tied, I think I would strongly consider putting him out there even if the game is tied. Now, if you're losing, let's say if you're losing by more than 3 runs, I wouldn't put him out there. I might use somebody else. But if you got the lead or if it's tied, I would definitely put him on the mound.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see it too. I think if you're down, you don't. Because look who is in the other dugout, those arms. But I think if you're tied or ahead, I do.
Yeah, Randall,
and especially if it's a 1 or 2 inning situation.
Mm-hmm. Well, Randall in the chat is saying that Jay Johnson wouldn't use Evans in that scenario. I mean, maybe he said he would put Shores out there with a 1-run lead in the 8th and the 9th. I mean, he very well may do that. One thing I like about Jay, he's not shy about doing things a little differently or outside of the box. I mean, he will mix it up. So to me, that's what makes him one of the best coaches in college baseball. So could I see him doing that, going back to Shores, even though Shores got hot tonight? Yeah, I could. But to me, this game tomorrow is a little bit different because this one is for all the marbles. You want to leave no doubt. To me, LSU, they're in fantastic shape because they use 1 pitcher tonight. So you literally got all hands on deck You got to win one of the next two. So Tigers are in fantastic shape.
Yeah, for sure.
And Randall, like, you're making very fair points in the chat, without a doubt.
Let's see. Yeah, and I think that's where the way Chase Shores has looked gives them some options they didn't have before.
Yeah, because he's kicked it up a gear once the
two.
calendar has flipped it over to June.
Yeah. Our man Cheddar Goblin is here, one of our regulars. Yeah, he was not getting close calls late in the game tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, you kind of said earlier you felt that it was inconsistent on both sides.
Well, I don't know if inconsistent is the word. I just feel like it was a very tight zone.
Yeah.
I was told the umpire, gosh, who was the home plate umpire tonight?
It's hard without stat broadcast.
It really is. And I didn't catch the first couple of pitches.
Yeah.
But I was told through some sourcing this morning, this came up in another conference, that he was the top-rated umpire in the SEC this year. Whoever was behind home in terms of how they were.
You said he was the top rated? Okay. Wow.
In terms of how they graded out against, the electronic zone. So
interesting.
I didn't have an issue with it.
My thing is, like, if it's consistent both ways, I'm cool with it. If you're all over the map and one team is getting different calls than the other one, that's what drives me crazy. As long as you're just consistent.
Some guys saying he liked the high strike. I mean, in my mind, the high strike doesn't get called enough.
See,
if it touches the bottom of the letters, that's no longer a strike by most umps. I just think that's ridiculous.
If you watch a ton of Major League Baseball, and I know, Chris, you watch a lot of the Braves, the high strike gets called a lot in Major League Baseball. It very rarely gets called in college baseball. And when it does get called, it looks like the pitch is up and out in the zone.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I think they brought it back in Major League Baseball. Of course, for a while, I think if it was more than about 6 inches above the belt, you wouldn't get the call. Yeah, Randall said he likes the zone there. It's more like a Major League zone. Like I said, I do think a couple inches off the plate and low seems to be what's been in play when I've seen it. And Randall's asking a bunch of good questions. They dropped the K-zone a few years ago, right? I haven't seen it, I think, in a couple of years.
Post-COVID, for sure. But yeah, I wish they'd bring it back too. I have no idea.
Yeah, and I like it. Just call the zone by the book. Now, I'm fine in college given a little bit of leeway if it's close off the plate, because hitters have so many advantages. Now, they have all disappeared in this tournament between the wind and the dimensions and whatever else. Mm-hmm. But I have not liked where the game was for the most part the last 3 or 4 years, where, you just get it in the air and it goes out at half the time.
By the way, can you put Cheddar's question up, because I want to touch on this point. This is a good question. So, I was watching this live when it happened. I don't know how you feel, Chris, but they got to change this rule. They got to get rid of this rule. Dickinson, he was ahead 3-0 and then just kept fouling pitch after pitch off. It was 3-2, gets hit on the elbow on the field. Were you watching when this happened?
Yeah, I came in. I had to help with something, but I saw the replay.
So,
and
yeah.
I mean, the replay, I thought the reversal was defensible. Now, I don't
like how it's out.
Well,
To me, I
It
would
was an
rather
out
just
because it was a full count.
correct. But like, even if it is, it doesn't even have to be a full count, does it? It's just 2 strikes. But I would just rather them like redo it. Like the count stays the same and you just dig back in and whatever happens next happens. I don't like how if it's 3-2, 2 strikes and it gets overturned, you're out. Like that drives me crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I almost think if it's a ball and it'd be ball 4, I'd almost be in favor of giving the batter a base. I thought the call is it's a strike, isn't it? And it just happened to be in
That's what
that
I'm
case
saying. That
strike 3.
that part needs to be overturned. Like it just drives me crazy. Like it was ball 4 anyway. Like he
Yeah,
definitely leaned into it. It was the right call to overturn it. But the fact that gets called, it goes down as an out. Like that was a big
yeah.
moment. I mean, that's your number 8 hitter. If he reaches, Brazwell's going to bunt him over, and then you got 1 out and a runner on second. Like that's a big momentum swing.
See, I don't mind it because I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get all the. I mean, the batters basically lean over the plate and wear all the body armor. It's hard enough to pitch in the college game as it is. I don't mind it. I may be in the minority. I mean, they said Coastal had been hit by 186 pitches this year, and I get that. Like your average college guy and your average major league guy, those are 2 different animals, right? And it just for example, they say that the average major league pitcher misses his spot by 11 inches. College is 18.
Jeez,
So maybe I think if I heard that right, maybe that's your difference. Maybe that's all there is to it. But I just feel like offense rules the day for the most part, except in this tournament. I get it, which is one reason I like the tournament. I think it flips the balance back to the pitching and defense. Maybe too much right now, but it didn't last year. And I think I don't know that you ever get that out of the game, but if you're going to, that's a step.
Yeah. It's just tonight they were pretty close. I think they were an inning or 2 apart. Just the ball that hit the first base umpire that prevented LSU from scoring a run, and then Dickinson being awarded first base overturned, and then he's out. Like we're talking about this because they happened pretty close to each other. I think a ball hitting an umpire in play, like that will always be the case. Like I don't see that being changed or like it's a dead ball or anything like that. Like that is what it is. It very rarely happens. It just happened tonight in which it cost LSU a run. I mean, I get why you're frustrated about it if you're an LSU fan.
By the way, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this screen name. Our audience can probably do it in its sleep, but I'm not that guy. If they're less than 3 balls, fair enough. If it's ball 4 and you aren't trying to get on base, you aren't trying to get hit to get on base, the rules shouldn't apply on ball 4. I think that's where I am. I really do. If it's going to be a ball anyway on ball 4, then take your base. Yeah. Because there was no advantage gained in that situation.
Well, it was definitely ball 4, without a doubt. I mean, on the broadcast, Peterson said he missed a foot inside.
Yeah. Now, I think where they did get screwed by the umps unintentionally was the ball hitting the first base umpire. And I know it's part of the game, but we have ground rule doubles, don't we? You know, a guy could score and once the ball bounces over the fence. I get that's a little more cut and dried, but I don't understand why we don't have a system where if that happens, maybe you just give the guy a base. Maybe just one. If it's obvious that it was going to result in a base, I guess you could say, well, what if he trips and falls or whatever? I get it, but I don't know. That one, it wasn't intentional, but that one bothers me a little bit.
Yeah, to me, like this is where it gets tricky. Like, what if it's a base hit and it just smokes an umpire? you know, and then like the ball stays on the infield. Nobody can really move up a bit. Like, it's different with what happened tonight on a pickoff move to first base versus a ball off the bat.
And maybe that's the right answer. Too rare to make up a rule. I guess it's just unfortunate. But
yeah, again, we're discussing this because they essentially almost happened back to back, you know, and it's just unusual.
yeah, I mean, Wes, if you open that gate, it does open up a lot of stuff. And the games and the reviews are already long enough. I mean, I guess it's the same thing as, you know, you scorch a ball down the line. And, you know, if it catches just that much chalk, it's fair. And if it's a millimeter to the right of that, it doesn't, it's foul.
Yeah.
So questions, comments, whatever you want to get to. We've talked a lot about Kade Anderson tonight. If you missed it, you can catch it on the replay. Just thought he was spectacular. If I'm a major league team and I'm taking a pitcher with my first pick, that's the guy. Yeah. I don't care what high school I'm. I guess Seth Hernandez from California, who's a Vanderbilt commit, would be in that discussion. I've not seen Seth Anderson pitch. I'm sure he's tremendous. But give me the guy that's a little bit older and proving it at this level. High school, I mean, pitchers are a crapshoot, but I think high school pitchers really are with the health of things these days. And if you want to take, I don't know, Ethan Holiday, maybe. Haven't seen him play. No, he's highly regarded, great baseball pedigree. But if I'm going with a pitcher, to me, into discussion, it is Kade Anderson.
By the way, we got a super chat from Brad.
The point the announcers made was if you're flinching away from the ball, does your elbow not naturally go up? I mean, I guess it doesn't have to.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was bizarre. Like, I feel like this has been reviewed and overturned in college baseball a lot here recently. So I don't know. It's bizarre to me.
Yeah. I think that's one of those that everybody probably saw a little differently. Man, LSU has had some performances in the College World Series lately. You had Skeens, you've had Ty Floyd, you've had Kade Anderson. I'm interested in which one do people think was the best? Because, man, that is a beauty pageant.
Well, right now the chat is saying what Anderson did tonight. But obviously that's recency bias. But all of the three you said, fantastic performances. It's a good and fun conversation to have for LSU. Not a lot of teams can say they got three different performances like that. See, we're getting a little bit of everything. Ianson, or that's for tomorrow. But they're saying Skeens against Wake Forest was tough to beat. This one because of a shutout for Anderson.
I'm trying to look up Skeens' game log from 2023.
Baseball Reference.
Well, I'm looking at his LSU page, and I'm getting the spinning color wheel.
A lot of fair points in the chat. Like, they're saying Anderson tonight had to do what he did. Like, if he's not awesome like he was tonight, LSU potentially loses this game.
Yeah, I think the argument for Skeens, and if somebody's got the game log, please let me know. I mean, the Wake game, Wake's already got one of those hitters is already in the majors, I think, with the A's. Am I correct? And Florida, I mean, Langford and Cags are already in the bigs, and they had other guys who can hit too. No knock on Coastal, but everybody knows Coastal thing is pitching and defense. Not that they can't hit, But if you want to look at it from the angle of what lineup was more impressive, I think Skeens has got the edge on that one.
By the way, I got it here, by the way. Skeens, 8 innings, 2 hits, 9 Ks, 1 walk. He threw 120 pitches, 82 were strikes.
Which was that Wake or was that Florida?
That was against Wake.
Okay. What was the Florida line?
You mean what was that, Floyd?
No, I mean didn't Skeens pitch against Florida too?
No, he got it's saying Tennessee and Wake Forest.
Did they go 2-0 in that? In the final series? Okay. Floyd and Thatcher Hurd? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he must have pitched the last game going into that.
Yeah.
And look, if they had Wake to contend with, Wake was the number 1 seed in the tournament that year, I believe. And they had a loaded lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense now. That's right. He was warming up in the bullpen. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's
got another super chat, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, again, if you missed it, I've got a ton of respect for Coastal's program and what it is doing on this stage in this day and age. I don't know how a mid-major gets to that point anymore. Hats off to them in Murray State. I thought they handled the press conference situation poorly. I don't know why you do that.
Yeah. Again, I thought it was weird all the way around. Like, why?
I think it comes from the coach a little bit. He's just kind of going out there with an attitude. I don't understand. Having to lecture everybody on how to pronounce the name. Like you've.
Even their picture.
Have some fun with it.
Did you see the picture of him and Jay Johnson? Like, they do it for every national championship in every sport. They have the awkward press conference, and then either before or afterwards, both head coaches stand up by the trophy and take a picture. Man, even that picture, like Jay Johnson has a big old smile on his face, and then Coastal's head coach looks like he's just mad at everything.
Yeah. I don't get it. I mean, you are the team that most people outside LSU are rooting for, just because of the situation. In that situation, nothing against LSU, people are going to root for the underdog. In a day and age where all the powers have all the advantages and take all the players off rosters from that, getting there is a miracle. I don't understand why you would do something like that when everybody's in your corner.
Yeah. Now, again, I don't believe that is the reason why LSU won. Again, I don't think Jay Johnson went in the clubhouse and was like, look, guys, did you guys see what Coastal players and their head coaches said in their press? Like, I don't think he did any of that. Like, it's for the national championship. They're already going to be motivated. By the way, some people are asking about weather tomorrow. It's going to be super windy again, and it's going to be hot. The high tomorrow in Omaha is 98, and it's going to be windy, like 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
The rain starts on Monday, and this, according to my phone.
It's a Monday night game if it goes 3, correct?
I'll look it up. I want to say, is it Sunday afternoon because of Sunday night baseball, and then it's Monday night if it does go Monday? Yeah. I think that's how ESPN handles it.
Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow it's a 1:30 Central first pitch.
That's Monday gonna be brutal.
Monday night 6:30 if they do go to Monday. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna. If you're going to the game, good luck. Temperature wise, like 1:30 first pitch, 98 degrees. Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, the
30
NBA
tomorrow.
Finals is tomorrow night.
That's what they did last year too. It was an afternoon game.
Yeah. Because I mean, I was there when Ole Miss won it, and I remember it being in the middle of the day, and it was hot, like super hot.
Yeah, I think it is more humid. I mean, I don't know where would be more humid than Baton Rouge, but I've been to Nebraska a bunch during the summer, and it's hot, but it's not humid like it is in the South. And I'm not in your
Yeah.
part of the South, LSU, and it's plenty humid here around Nashville.
Remember, like Ianson, I can't remember if it was the regional or super regional, but his outing, like when they took him out, he looked like he just jumped in a swimming pool. Like he looked
Yeah,
drenched and soaked because of how humid it was.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, those guys were off the charts durable during the season. That super regional, they both struggled. And thank God those games were, I think, night games. I cannot imagine pitching in Baton Rouge at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I couldn't either.
Well, I
This
think
time of
what
year,
Einson's start might have been Einson's start. Man, there's been so much baseball. Maybe one of those got pushed back because of some rain. I don't remember how all the game times. I just remember them talking constantly on the broadcast about how blasted hot it was.
yeah. We got another super chat.
Okay. Yeah, I can't imagine them not going Einson tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd be stunned. If it's not him, I'd be speechless.
Yeah.
And yes, I agree with you. Jay Johnson is without a doubt one of the top coaches. I mean, he's top 3 for me.
Yeah, I think he would have to be. So I got a little distracted by something here. Let me take care of some business. I'll just let you get the next comment or question or two on the chat there.
So LSU fans, how many of you guys are like actually in Omaha? Like, is anybody going to the game tomorrow? Again, 1:30 Central Time, first pitch. Like, how many of you LSU fans are wanting to witness national championship number 8 if it gets to that point? Also, this is getting to the point for LSU. Like, this is like the annual trip to Omaha. If you look in the stands on the crowd shots and everything, you see the gear. It just says Baton Rouge North. It's pretty accurate with what LSU has been able to do historically. We're getting too expensive. I don't, yeah. As
I
somebody
don't know
that's
how
done
people
it,
do it.
yeah. Especially if your team keeps winning. Like you're there 2 weeks and it's not cheap.
Yeah, give us location check tonight. If you're in Omaha, I'd love to know that, and otherwise, where are you watching from? Yeah, who'd win in a fight? A Chanticleer, a Hokie, or a Gamecock?
I guess give me the rooster, right? I mean, one's a turkey, one's a chicken, one's a rooster. Give me the rooster.
I think it's got to be right. One of those. They're the fighting Gamecocks. I think that one. No one wins. Got some Hattiesburg. Got some Austin.
John says he's flying in tomorrow. Boy, that's an early flight. If the game's at 1:30, good luck, sir.
Are you flying to Omaha or Kansas City?
Yeah, good question. Wes is in Norman. All right. Loves his Sooners as in Norman.
John's got his own plane.
John, we need to be best friends then. If you're going to private plane this,
John, take us all to Omaha one year. How about that? Eugene. All right, I forgot Bo's from Oregon. Michigan.
Kalamazoo. Which Michigan school is there? One of them.
That's one of the directionals, isn't it?
Yeah. I can't remember. Also, Hunter Johnson asked, when are we going to do some transfer portal stuff? Soon, probably after Omaha's wrapped up. I think we'll dive into portal stuff and also the Major League Baseball draft, which is in the month of July now.
Yeah, I've been watching the portal. I think we'll do some probably within a day or two of the series being over.
But like, here's when you know, to me, the SEC is different than everybody else. All these SEC teams that everybody's getting, kids from all over the country, it's like so-and-so committed to this SEC team. Their other finalists are like 4 other SEC teams. Like you hardly
and
ever.
a couple of ACC teams.
Yeah, it's like you don't see any Big 12, Big 10, like any of that. It's either you beat out other SEC teams or like Clemson or Florida State.
Yeah. Yeah, Jared Jones at the plate tonight was different. No, you don't bench Jared Jones. I think it was Kyle Peterson that made the point about his swing path.
I don't know, maybe. Also, if you bench Bear Jones, like you don't beat Arkansas the other night. So what are we doing here?
Right. That's just baseball. Plus, who plays first?
Yeah, because he's been there forever this season at first base.
Yeah, I thought Jones had more trouble with the fastballs tonight than the breaking stuff.
Did you really? I was just about to say, like, the book on him, it's like slider low and away, slider low and away. Maybe a change up here and there.
But he crushed those the 2 days before this one.
Yeah, like his walk-off hit was on a pitch low and outside.
Yeah, I mean, they worked on him going the other way. And plus, let's also be fair. I mean, you're facing aces out of that other side, too. I mean, Flukey's going to be a first-rounder. I can't remember if he's draft eligible next year or the year after. I think it's the year after. But you're facing pretty good guys, too. Pretty good guys make you look bad at times. Thank you, Chris. Super Chat $9.99. Those always welcome here. Yeah, the Brazwell play somebody brought up. That was a big one.
Yeah.
Helps have a former shortstop at third.
As good as he is on defensively at third base, it is the polar opposite at the plate right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you get to a situation where you need a run late, you might see a pinch hit, but I don't know. I'd be tempted to go with what's working, and defense is a big factor. More so in this venue than it would be at any that you play at all year. The only exception might be Hoover.
Yeah. I agree with you. If it's not broke, there's nothing to fix. So just keep him at third, keep him in the 9 spot. I mean, offensively, it is what it is at this point.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, LSU's got all the pitching tomorrow. The thing I'm watching is how long can Einstein go? And what's your next move if you're ahead by maybe a run?
Yeah.
Because runs are going to be scarce tomorrow too.
So to me, that means your options are Shores, Evans. Probably going to be one of those two. I don't think we'll see Cowan tomorrow. I think they want Cowan for game 3 if it gets to that.
I would think so. Hey, thank you, Bobby. Glad you're with us. Now, I would go with what you went all year. I think Einson went in just about every game 2 situation for them this year. I mean,
yeah. I would go Ianson. That's what I would do. But think again, this question right here is what makes LSU different from everybody else. Would you rather go Evans or Ianson? Just think about like how loaded LSU is pitching wise.
Yeah.
That this is a conversation to have.
I think I go, and I'm probably nitpicking to give you an answer, okay? But Evans has been used as a starter and a closer, and I know that Einson did get used in late situations, but Evans is used to it. He's been in that spot more. I think I just go with familiarity there. But I mean, it's not an awful decision if you do the other.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's a bad answer.
The only reason I would change it is if you think for some reason that Einson is starting to run out of gas a little bit, because we're looking at a lot of pitches this point of the year. But again, I'll say the thing I've said a couple times already. I don't think anybody is better at pacing pitchers for the end of the season than Jay Johnson. He's a master at it. So whatever he does, I'm going to be fine with it.
Speaking of Jay Johnson, I think we both picked LSU to win this. Let's say he gets his second. First of all, how many active coaches right now have 2 national championships? Like Corbin? I mean, that's a small list, right?
I think it's just Tim Corbin and Jay Johnson if Jay Johnson gets one tomorrow.
Of every active coach in the country, it would just be those 2. That's incredible.
Well, let's think of, okay, Ray Tanner won 2. He's been retired for what?
Over a decade.
15 years?
Yeah.
13 years? Okay. Sully's got 1. Vitello's got 1.
Bianco has 1.
Yeah. I mean, I can think of a bunch of guys with 1. Pat Casey had more than 1, but he's been out of ball for what, 5 years?
He made news over the weekend though. Holy smokes.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
With that's the Brewers coach now, right?
Pat Casey?
Who's
you're thinking of Pat Murphy.
Murphy. Okay, yeah. That's who I was thinking of. So scratch that. Never mind.
O'Connor's only got 1, I believe.
Yeah. He played for another one, but he only has 1. Yeah, Randall with a good point. No coach has ever won 2 natties in his first 4 years.
Well, this would be year 3, wouldn't it? No, or did he come? No, he came to LSU in 23, or was it 22?
I think this is.
No, it was 22. It was 22, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, this is his 4th year.
Ooh. No, that's bold. I don't know. I think Jay's going to win one beyond this year. I think he's going to get one this year, but it is tougher than it's ever been.
Yeah. Just think of how different college baseball is going to look moving forward here. And again, I mentioned it earlier. You can Google it. There's a really interesting article on the Times Free Press about Coastal Carolina and what their plans are for baseball. So they're going the route 34 full scholarships for baseball, and their NIL for baseball is going to be $2.5 million. Like that number has been reported over this weekend.
Yeah, they'll be good for a long time.
So, and that's a Sun Belt team. So, if that's a Sun Belt team, imagine what other SEC teams and the top end ACC teams are going to do.
Well, that's the problem because rev share in the SEC, if you're going by what the league suggests, is not going to allow for that. But, endorsement deals, if you can get them for your guys, and I think that's where LSU is probably in a better spot than anybody in the league with their equipment deals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, talk of Jay Johnson going to look. This is the school that just pulled a pitching coach from a major league team mid-season a couple of years back.
Yeah, think about that. I don't know, like it's such a different game and animal going like the major league game to college. Like Jay essentially runs the program that he wants to do it. Like it's got his fingerprints, identity all over it. He's not going to have a lot of control over wherever he goes if he does go to the big leagues.
Yeah, that's true too, and he's got the blessing of the godfather of LSU baseball behind him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've talked a lot. I think I'm just watching the pitching tomorrow. Morrison and Einstein will be a dandy. Wouldn't be shocked if Coastal got game 2 tomorrow because Morrison has been as effective as anybody in the country consistently. But then you get Case and Evans game 3 potentially, or
Cowan. Shores hasn't pitched yet, so LSU's wide open pitching wise.
Yeah, if you watched LSU the last week, getting 2 from them just became a much tougher proposition based on what you saw in Omaha.
Yeah. Yep.
Parting thoughts, Graham?
Just kind of what we envision happening. Close game, pitcher's duel. That's exactly what we got tonight. Kind of expect the same thing tomorrow for game 2. Again, it's going to be hot. 1:30 first pitch on a Sunday. So, drink your water, stay hydrated if you're going to the game. But can't wait. I think it's going to be another fun game to watch.
Stay hydrated anyway. I almost can't keep enough water down.
Man, I walked outside today, and again, I'm in Mississippi, and like it's brutal, and it's only 91, which means like in a month or two, it's gonna be like 99, 100, and I can't imagine what it's gonna be, what it's gonna feel like then.
Yeah, I did 3 hours of yard work and 85 to 90 today, and that was enough.
Yeah, Cheddar. Season tickets, baby, for the Saints year 1 in my family. Both of my grandparents got season tickets, so been a Saints fan my whole life. When I grew up going to the games, that was bag on the heads. those were the ain't days. Now, in my lifetime, I didn't know if I'd ever witness the Saints win the Super Bowl, but I'm glad to say that they have.
So your family had Saints tickets in your lifetime of fandom?
Yes. So both sets of grandparents. My grandfather, one of my grandfathers was a judge, and like part of his deal was like free transportation, which back then that meant trains and tickets. So like that was so my dad, when he was growing up, it was either Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals, because they're about 4.5, 5 hours away. And then same for the Saints. Saints are about 4.5, 5 hours away.
I've been to one game in the Superdome. It was the Florida State Natty back in the 90s.
Was it?
Uh-huh.
That was a good one to go to. Man, you got to go.
That building was not in great shape. That building was not pretty then.
Well, on the inside, outside looks the same. Inside, for the most part, they've cleaned it up a lot.
Yeah.
But yes, I've been in the Superdome too many times to count.
Bobby's asking where we're from. Graham's in Oxford, and I'm in the Nashville area. All right. With that, I think we're about talked out. We did an hour and 15 minutes on a 1-0 game. But that's how good
Hey,
Kade
there's
Anderson
a lot to
was.
talk about.
There was. All right. We will be back at it tomorrow. Probably, we usually set the live streams about 3 hours from first pitch. So that's a good guideline for what we'll do tomorrow. And if there's a Game 3 Monday, we'll be here for that too. We got a shout up from Tim Burns. Thank you, Tim. Tough night for your team, but a great ball game. Great ball game between two elite teams. And we'll do it again tomorrow. We will have transfer portal stuff tomorrow. And, yeah, we'll have draft coverage coming up. Been doing a ton of prep work for that. I think we're going to live stream day one of the draft. Maybe day two. Did you see they've changed the draft? I didn't notice this until today. The first day of the draft is round 1 to 3 now.
We looked this up with Jay the other day, so it's in Atlanta during All-Star Weekend as a new wrinkle.
Right. But here's the big change, and I'm interested on how this is going to affect, because you get a lot of those in the past, because usually it was like round 2 or 3 to 10, and then you had that overnight where all these guys were cutting, they were calling guys that hadn't been picked. Hey, if we take you in round 11 tomorrow, will you sign for X? Well, now the draft's going to be rounds 4 to 20 the next day, and it's just a 2-day event now. So I'm really interested in how that's going to change things, or if it does. So,
yeah. By the way, LA Mom, she just asked if we'd cover football. So yeah, we cover football, basketball, baseball, you name it.
Yep. And, Kade Anderson's conditioning, absolutely. That guy was in tremendous shape tonight. That was a game for the ages. Okay, thank you for watching. Congratulations to LSU on taking Game 1. Don't forget, visit our sponsor, GameTime Sidekicks.com, SE16. Get 10% off your entire order. If your team wins the championship, they will have a commemorative tumbler for that, so be sure to watch the website. If by chance LSU is clinching it tomorrow, or if LSU clinches it Monday, or if Coastal clinches it Monday, they will have a tumbler for one of those teams. Anyway, we will be here tomorrow around 4:30 Central, going live again as that one winds down. For Graham Doty, I'm Chris Lee. Thank you for watching. Good night. God bless you. And watching our baseball content here at Southeastern 16.